Hey everybody, it's Canadian Leyland Mechanic. Gonna try to post some more videos of stuff I run into. Uh, got my 1974 and a half MGB, pulled her out of the garage, get her ready for the summer, and ran into some interesting issues. I want to highlight an issue here with these old LBCs that a lot of owners don't know, is to remember, if it's not running quite right, try to eliminate a few other things before you do that. In my case, was running great. When I put it away, idle was at 850, no issues. As soon as I pulled it out, it was running a little rough. Ran fine, started a little bit harder to start it. And I had to adjust the fast idle a little bit up just so it would run a little nicer and smoother. I had to get her up to about 1100. And I thought that's kind of strange. I was driving her around the other day, and it was just not running right. Like I just had to pull the choke out a bit more. Backfired as I was driving, and then I pulled into a parking lot, and then it just died. And I also noticed when I stepped on the accelerator, it would it would fight to, once it had to get to about 2,000 revs, and then it ran fine. And I was like, kind of weird. Now, a lot of owners would then start fiddling with the carbs, right? You're thinking it's a carb adjustment, but no, do not start doing that. If you're having issues like that, first thing you got to do is eliminate any ignition problems. And that comes right from John Twist and all the videos that I follow with him. So make sure first thing you do is you got to make sure the valves are in good shape. So make sure all the valves, I just redid these not too long ago, maybe about 1,000 miles. So I know that they're good and nothing else is an issue. Next thing you have to check is you make sure all your wires are in good. It's the right order. Check your rotor, check your cap, make sure those are all cleaned off. And then, I was like, it's kind of strange. So, I thought, you know what? Maybe it's the coil. So I had a spare coil. Always keep a spare coil, spare ignition, wires, things like that. Or have a buddy that you can steal one off of. As soon as I switched the coil out, it was idling even higher. And then I dialed it back. Everything's fine. And it just started to run much, much, much smoother. And then all my acceleration problems went away and everything like that. So even though it seemed like a carb issue, it was actually a coil issue. So make sure that you check that out first before you start goofing around with your carbs. I know I would have spent hours and hours and hours fiddling around with carbs in there, and that's something you definitely don't want to do, especially after I know I've rebuilt them myself. I've changed all the floats, I've set them, and the only thing you want to do that I did before I started goofing around with the coil is that I made sure that the carbs were mechanically operating properly, right? Making sure like a choke wasn't stuck on, or that they were synced properly when I pulled up on the thing. So if you know your carbs are working mechanically well, and I set them all and I rebuilt them, then it can't be the carbs. Any ignition or idle issues, remember, it's spark, air, and fuel. And if that coil hadn't worked, I would have started looking at my fuel supply. So make sure, always check valves, timing, ignition, right, before you start goofing around with your carbs. And I think a lot of owners fall down that huge hole by just starting to fiddle with their carbs before they eliminate all the other stuff. All right, keep motoring out there. And of course, remember, British Leyland turning ordinary people into mechanics since 1927, I think. Take care. Bye.